What's going on, everybody? So, right now, I'm going to be making a short video and we're going to be talking about getting into commercial music production. So, not only is it important to, when you're thinking about getting into production, be thinking about working with artists, placing instrumentals, and perhaps getting your own spot to be getting artists into, making commercial music, making music that's viable in a multitude of settings is really important. This, as you could see, it's a really loop-based record. It's a simple tropical house record. I was asked to make some music for a YouTube channel. I found that a lot of these, especially influencer YouTubes, are really into the tropical house vibe. It's a vibe that a lot of people like for travel videos. So I'm going to run through the whole entire song relatively quickly. We might skip around a little bit, and then we're going to break down the decision making process behind it. So I think the best way to describe stupid records like this, and I'm not necessarily saying they're stupid. I'm just saying, I don't think all producers enjoy doing really loop based work. I think producers like to get into their bag, but there are low key ways you could get into your bag while still making commercial music. And I don't think necessarily shutting your brain off and making a simple record is a bad thing. I think this is roots. This is what everybody used to do. We all used to get into sample packs and just arrange those samples and go, damn, I really made it. So it's important to say to yourself, okay, how can I even make the simple stuff? How can I make the silly stuff? Perhaps that's a better word. Interesting. So I think the first step, dual melodies that still kind of reflect each other, is something that I found not only in this like commercially tropical house vibe, but having an instrument playing melody and then also having an instrument that's melodic but is almost the leading voice of the record. I think it makes it captivating while still giving room for someone to say something over it that isn't perhaps in tune with the music or isn't perhaps musical at all. And to achieve that, we have that top layer with almost like that like clicking synthy sound, and then behind that, once again we're using arcade by output to give another voice to it right at the bottom. And then that's going to expand into a larger pattern as we go, so it stays interesting and it remains almost like a vocal in the record. And then from there, it's just about arranging the sample pack. This is a sample pack I took off of Splice, a Tropical House sample pack. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think one of the most interesting things that I ever saw Illmind say was he said, at least I think he said it. He said, no one cares, you know, if you got it from a loop, if you got it from your music, as long as it's royalty free and you could use it, it doesn't really matter. Either way, you're being creative, whether it's sample based, whether it's melody based, whether you're recording your own samples and then chopping them up. Just get creative. At the end of the day, an A&R is going to hear it and they're going to make a decision based off of their own preferences. And there's nothing you could do about that. So just make sure you're doing you at all times. And even in these commercial records, have fun. Like we talked about with Dan Cooney said that it's all about momentum, it's all about building, and it's all about taking away. So record opens up, we only have 3 tracks. As you move forward, we're going to bring in drums and we're going to have this little snap, click, roll thing that's also from this Splice sample pack. Like it's just important in all your records, but especially in a record that might be used for commercial purposes, have versatility. It's very rare that you're going to have the whole entire record appear in what they're doing. So giving whoever is making the decision about the music the ability to choose their favorite portion of the record is always a good thing, because like I just said about the A&Rs, you never know people's preferences and you never know people's tastes. So giving them a bit of flavor throughout one song gives them the ability to find a snippet that they prefer. In this section, we switch up the voice of the record from this opening one, da 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 da, to this more arpeggiated repeating. I think there's something really human about repeating patterns that people enjoy, especially in EDM music. If you think about house music, which is, exactly where EDM's coming from, it's really long, repetitive bars sometimes, and that's what makes it thrilling. That's what makes it a vibe. That's what makes it interesting, and that's what makes it an atmosphere and not just music in the background. So I think when you're talking about music that doesn't have vocals, taking your time and letting patterns build and letting patterns repeat is never a bad thing, because people catch on at their own pace. And then from there, you just got to take it back to 2000 whenever, and like Lil Wayne said, just let the beat build. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Take things away and reintroduce them. I wish more producers did that. Take instruments away, let the melody that you chose, not even that you wrote, if it's just one that you chose, let it speak for itself. Let it breathe. If you like the drums that you chose, let your drums breathe. If you think about jazz music, they almost always had every instrument have its own single. At least in a lot of live performances that I saw growing up, every instrument and every musician was kind of given a chance to shine. So letting every voice in your record have a chance to shine, it's important. People have their own preferences. People have their own tastes. When you're writing commercial music, you have to write universal music that's easy to enjoy, that could get stuck in someone's head, or else it's just not going to get picked up, and it's not going to be something that sits in a music library and is used over and over again. So finally, we use this other voice, which is once again arcade, and it's arpeggiated, and then when we're building up to the end of the record, we reintroduce that original one. and then it's quite literally a finale, right? You just bring in all of your voices, create a dramatic moment by taking away that final bar. That's something I spoke about on a bunch of different videos that we've done. If there's anything Tropical House is about, I think it's about the escapism of the genre. I think it's about the ability to project yourself into a different atmosphere. So, writing records that allow that to happen is really important. It's a predominant style with the YouTube community. And if you're talking about placements, I'd say the easiest place to go is there. Thanks for popping in. Like always, the Produced by Focus Shorten playlist is out now on all platforms. If you want to check out my independent project, you could peep Priority Wave. Thanks again.